Welcome to the Cardinal Report, your weekly 30-minute look inside the world of North Central College athletics. I'm Justin Zipser. Outdoor track and field is set for this weekend's CCIW Championships in Naperville. We have the women's team on the show this week to get you ready. But before all that, we take a look back on the last week of NCC athletics, because track and field isn't the only program getting set for the postseason. For instance, softball is ready for its own CCIW tournament in Bloomington. The Cards enter with a conference record of 9-5. Two of those losses just came to Augustana in a regular season finale doubleheader on Saturday. As luck would have it, NCC faces off against those very same Vikings in its first game of the postseason tournament. The lacrosse team also travels this weekend, heading down I-88 West to Rock Island for the Midwest Women's Lacrosse Conference Tournament. 3 of 4 tourney teams are playing in their final MWLC games. NCC, Carthage, and host school Augustana are leaving the conference after the season to join Elmhurst and Illinois Wesleyan in next season's CCIW. The Cards enter play at 8-2 in the conference, but will have to dethrone defending tourney champs Augustana for the crown. North Central baseball continued its hot stretch last week with 2 wins apiece over the University of Chicago and Wheaton College. The standings in the CCIW are very tight in spots 1 through 6. As it stands right now, North Central finds itself in the top 4, which is all that matters heading into next weekend's conference tournament. Pitcher Ben Cruzen was named CCIW Pitcher of the Week for his effort against the Thunder on April 25th, a complete game in which he struck out 12 batters and only gave up 1 run. Joe Paparone was also named CCIW Hitter of the Week for a red-hot 6 games at the dish, 8 for 17, 4 doubles, and a .706 slugging percentage. Men's tennis used momentum from its first conference dual meet win in 3 years against Illinois Wesleyan on the 7th to grab an 8-1 victory over first-year program Millikan University. But this week, the team fell 5-0 to Augustana in a play-in match for the CCIW tournament. The season ends with a step up from last season, 9-11 overall, 2-4 in the CCIW. The men's track and field team was split up this past weekend. Some were at the Benedictine University Twilight Invite, some were at the Drake Relays in Des Moines, Iowa. At the Ben U Invite, North Central still took a first-place victory in the 17-team field. Adam Widener dropped in a first-place showing in the shot put, and Femi Oyewale moved up to 11th nationally in the high jump with his PR of 6 feet and 8 3/4 inches. In Iowa, Johnny Crane and Troy Kelleher grabbed PRs in the 5,000-meter race. Both are now in the top 5 of Division III runners in the event this season. And as you can see, there's lots of action this weekend, but again, next we hone in on the women's side of outdoor track and field. Don't go anywhere. Head coach Carrie Cluckhone joins us after a quick break.
Yes, ready.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
The Cardinal Report is back. Thanks for watching. NCC Women's Track and Field head coach Carrie Cluckhone is our first guest. Carrie, thanks for stopping by as always.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the season a little bit. Heading into CCIW Championships this upcoming weekend, it's, you know, as the season wears on, it's weekend after weekend after weekend. You see the gradual results each weekend. So how's the team shaping up for an important weekend coming up?
We're doing really well. Week in and week out, we actually haven't put together a full lineup at any meet that we've had. At Chicagoland, we divided up a little bit between 2 meets that weekend, and every week, though, we've come out and done really well. We've had, I think, 3 firsts and a second so far this season. So even with some of our limited lineup choices that we've made, we've done really well.
And definitely looking at some of your athletes and maybe the personal bests that they put up this season in the outdoor season, a lot of those times or throws or what have you, or heights or whatever, came at the Chicagoland meet, which was the second meet of the outdoor season. So why do you think so many of these personal bests for the season anyway came in such an early meet of the season?
Well, at Chicagoland, it's a big meet. You have, all divisions, NAI, Division I, II, III, junior college. So it's a really big competitive meet. People get up for that. It's pretty exciting. This year they had some pretty good wins. It helped in some cases. Fortunately, in some of the races it had helped where we're still under the legal wind reading, and others it was over. But for conference, they don't really look at the wind, so they put whatever times are down. But the national list is off of legal reading, so we've done really well. But that means it's nice because we see a lot of teams that we don't always see because they're people from other divisions, and we're able to elevate ourselves to compete against that competition.
And that was also the case this past weekend at the Benedictine University Twilight invite, where you have a couple of Division I programs, going around in the meet. So you had a lot of great talent to face up against. So you finished first place. Kind of give me a sense of how that meet went for you.
Same with that. We really didn't go in with the goal really of winning. It was more about fine-tuning for conference, getting people in and out, 1 or 2 events max. Sat some people out just to freshen up for next week, for this week's conference championship. So I guess I didn't really go into it thinking, we have to win this meet, because it's all about really conference championships. But I do like going to that meet because we do see Division I teams that are competitive. So we're able to, again, see some different people. I don't like to always see the same teams every week. And I think it's good for the women. It makes them not think that they're in a certain place against somebody they normally would throw or jump or run against. There's a little bit of that unknown, which is what nationals is like. You don't know everybody that intimately because they're from all over the country. So getting into meets like this past weekend at BU really puts us in that position to get out there and compete and just see what we have.
And it definitely looks like you have a lot right now, a lot of fun stuff to work with. The Cards made final preparations for another run at the CCIW Championships last weekend in Lisle. Let's head to the highlight and see how the women fared in the Benedictine University Twilight Invitational. Just 1 week until CCIW Outdoor Championships, Cards fine-tuning things in Lisle. In the pole vault, the 1-2 Cardinal punch of Brooke Patterson and Liz Composto still looking good after a strong indoor season. Despite battling a hamstring issue during the outdoor season, Composto still top 20 in the nation heading into the weekend. But at Ben U, she cannot clear a bar. That leaves the door open for Patterson, who gets some last-minute advice from former NCC vaulter Rachel Seacrest, who holds the all-time program record for outdoor height. Patterson easily clears this early competition bar, ends up grabbing first place with a height of 3.68 meters. Over to the hammer throw. Junior Lena Baker has been fantastic all season long, third in the nation heading into the weekend. Her longest throw goes 50.85 meters, which is about 4.5 meters off her season high, but still good for third place at Benedictine. Lots of action on the track as well. Megan Costanzo, Jackie McCown, and CCIW Runner of the Week Nora Ferguson among 7 Cardinals in the third flight of the 1,500-meter race. About 300 meters in, McCown is 4th and Ferguson is 3rd. 2 Division I runners taking up 2nd and 1st respectively, Loyola's Hannah Magnuson and UIC's Rebecca Zader. At the 700-meter mark, McCown and Magnuson fall back. It turns into a 2-woman race between Zader and Ferguson. Over the final 800 meters, Magnuson methodically opens up her lead. She's first with a time of 4 minutes and 37.3 seconds. Ferguson just seconds behind with a PR of 4 minutes and 45.3 seconds. McCown, Costanzo, and Caitlin Zumpf go 4, 5, and 6 as well. In total, NCC grabs 20 team points in the race. Redlinski and Renfro back together for the 100-meter hurdles. Both are top 10 in the nation in this event. Renfro's in lane 5, Redlinski in 6, both with fine showings, but it's the sophomore Renfro with a first place time of 14.51 seconds. High jump coach Tom Roderick in Iowa for the Drake Relays. That means Natalie Moss, Jordan Flowers, and Kelsey Kirk have to settle for substitute coach Femi Oyewale. The men's high jumper might have a future in coaching because the trio of women came through with 2 PRs. Moss's is first, 1.6 meters, and a 9th place finish for the junior. Kirk is the top finisher for NCC in the event at 4th place. Here's her college PR of 1.65 meters. North Central finishes first with a balanced effort between its track and field athletes. So conference is always a pool of talent that maybe in some cases is even deeper in the outdoor season. So kind of give us a preview of some of the teams to watch out for this weekend here in Naperville.
Yeah. When I look at really the conference honor roll, I think there are 4 really strong teams. I think every team really has people within the conference that will score in different events. But I would say the real team competition will be between Illinois Wesleyan, Carthage, and Augustana. I think every team in that group has strong areas. One of the things that I find for North Central is that we are strong across the board. Where I think we're pretty consistent across event areas. We don't rely on just one event area or group of people to really carry it, or a couple athletes. We really look at spreading that responsibility and excitement really across the board, so everybody feels like they can contribute versus just kind of relying on a few people.
I think that's a great point, because we really see a lot of great performances throughout the season across all the events, track and field. Obviously with the throws, with the high jumps, pole vaulters, relay teams. And relay is something I want to kind of talk about, because that's not a team that maybe you make up going into the season. You let the girls kind of earn those spots on the relay team. Talk about that a little bit, that mentality, and how that kind of adds to the team come this part of the season.
Yeah, for us, it doesn't matter if it's a relay or an individual event, you earn your opportunity. So it's never a held spot for somebody from the year before. And it always comes back to putting together good summer, fall, winter to spring, and being coachable and earning your opportunity. And when it comes to relay, our 4x1 is doing really well. We've had, last year we could see we had some of the tools to have a strong relay. We have a couple different legs in from last year, even a couple new people that have made the relay, but they really are meshing really well. So it's really exciting to see. Right now they're nationally ranked, and we hope that they'll get in, and we still got a little work to do that though, but it's pretty exciting. Yeah,
right now ranked 19th in the nation, so obviously a very good standing right there. Let's talk about some of the individual performances that have been really turning some heads. Madison Renfro, coming off a fantastic indoor season, really has transitioned beautifully into the outdoor season. Right now ranked 5th in the 100-meter hurdles. What have you seen from her in that transition to the outdoor season?
She loves 100 hurdles. I mean, she was a state champion in high school in the 100 hurdles. And last year, I remember when we got towards nationals time, she told one of the other girls I should be there. So she's done everything that she can to be at that point. She's a different athlete this year than last year. She's always had the great attitude and great personality, but her drive and work ethic has been very evident this year. She's on her 4x1 right now too, so her speed has really come along to want to even consider her on it, but I think it's also helped her within the 100 hurdles. But she's a blast to watch her on that race.
What are the common characteristics between those two races, the 4x1 and the 100-meter hurdles, that maybe helps her in both of those races because she races both? A
lot of it, there's some intensity. She has been leading off first in the 4x1. She gets really excited and very focused, and that strong energy. She's not a nervous person. It's all just really positive, very powerful. In the hurdles, she attacks every hurdle, and she's a very team-minded person. She wants to help the team, so that's why she fits in really well to a 4x1.
My favorite maybe characteristic, or maybe what someone told me about Madison, was from Mahesh Narayanan, who said that she's just kind of crazy before races, and you can definitely see that. She's a lot of fun to watch. Keep it on the Cardinal Report. More with Coach Clecone next on TCR.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
We're back on TCR. Women's track and field head coach Carrie Clecone with us for a few more minutes. Transitioning from what we talked about in the last segment about some more individual performances. We'll be hearing from Lena Baker in a couple of minutes, but let's talk about her performance from a coach's perspective. 3rd in the nation in the hammer throw, and she was an All-American last year, first time a North Central athlete has ever done that in the outdoor season. So what has her progression been from season to season now being a junior?
Yeah, coming in as a freshman, she vaulted and she threw in high school. And she found a love of hammer. And once she got a coach that committed to working, with our program, Coach Denard has been excellent in dividing or to developing a program and counsel for her and for other throwers as well. But she's just one of those people that will go throw in the snow. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 20 below zero. If she's going to throw the hammer, she's going to go throw the hammer. And, the number of throws you'll have to ask her how many throws she's thrown, if she knows what it is anymore. It's just obscene number of throws. But it all comes down to being committed. That's it. And working hard and sticking to the program. If you stick to the program and you believe in it, that's the result you're going to get.
And I think, just for people at home watching, she literally will throw in the snow. We saw her throwing when the snow was on the ground in February and March during the outdoor season, which is good. Obviously, the commitment to the program, commitment to your craft, it's all about progressing and making sure that you have a tangible sense of advancement year after year, and that's something that you try to teach to all your athletes, really. Yeah, the goal is to build over the course of your 4 years, that you don't have your big, star freshman year and then they fizzle out, because one, it's defeating to them, as a person, and as a team, you want to be able to rely on junior and senior leadership through example. And you look at someone like Lena, and you look at someone like Jocelyn. You look at our vault group as well. There's several that are in those junior senior ranks. It's that progression over time that sets the tone for the rest of the team. They can see what it takes to get there, and you can't just be a talent. You have to work for it. And because you are a younger team for the most part, especially last year, this year a little bit older, obviously, because of the year later. But I think that's good to show some of the younger athletes that advancement, that if you work hard year after year. You can't just take, you mentioned in the last segment, that high school talent, that high school maybe sense of, I wouldn't say you're better than maybe what you are, but you want to be able to show that you can advance. All right, so over to our What's the Word segment. Over the long course of a season, sometimes you need more than the weekly competition to get you pumped up. Sometimes it needs to come from within your own team. This week's What's the Word, we hear from North Central athletes that help coach and hype each other up.
Today, there's also a meet at Drake Relays, and so our high jump coach, who's always here, he's there today. So Femi and Natalie and Jordan and Kyle were all helping. We were kind of trying to coach each other today, and Femi just told me that I really need to keep my speed through the curve, and that just really helped me a lot because that's something I struggle with. So it's just really great that even though Coach Rod isn't here, I still have really great teammates that can help take me through my jumps.
And that's how it's been all along. We've been, teammates obviously and competitors. And we always push each other. She was leading the way the past 2 years, like you said, but I don't know, due to a slight injury, she's kind of struggling this season, but she'll get back up there. We get the conference title again, keep that going. We've got a streak going, so continue with that, and then going on to the national championship season.
We have a little motto now that we don't say that we think we can do something, we say that we know we can do something. Coach Rod's all about knowing, not thinking. So we're really trying to believe in ourselves this year and just, shooting for high goals. So it was just awesome to see Natalie get an awesome PR, and that just gave me what I needed to, get up there as well. So it was really exciting. So now that you've gone through much of the season, obviously you still have some more meets after the CCIW Championship meet, you have a good sense of where your team at. So how does that affect the way you put up a lineup? Obviously you have the championships this week, 3 more meets after this, all home meets. How does that affect the way you kind of run up your lineup in accordance to the nationals? Yeah, well, first of all, for conference, really the goal when I look at the whole lineup, and this goes back months ago, is really looking at what we feel people do during championship season, like what events they're going to compete in, whether it's nationals or conference. And the reality is, for any team across the country, the most athletes from their team are going to be at the conference championship. So that's a main focus for the majority. So you kind of base your lineup throughout the rest of the season prior to that off of those goals. For your national women, we had a meeting in November, December with our top group and really talked about what our goals are as a team post-conference as well, like what kind of a team we want to be at conference, and those top athletes, and expecting themselves to be able to perform at that level, and then carrying that into the next couple weeks. You can't go into nationals just hoping to do well. You have to know you can do well, and but it comes through preparation and then execution from that preparation, and not being intimidated, but being ready to let it come out of you. So when you look at the next couple weeks post-conference, it really comes down to, reviewing the national list and seeing where we are with some people, what the realistic chances are and which events, and putting them in the best position to get in the meet and get us in position to prepare for the national championships. So this is the first year since 2007. You said earlier before we started taping that the CCIW Championships will be here in Naperville on North Central campus. What does that add to maybe the atmosphere? Does that help the team at all, knowing that they don't have to travel very far to really do their best on
conference championships?
Yeah, I think it's a big benefit to being at home because, one, a lot of your family and friends come and watch more than maybe could if we traveled. The biggest challenge is to make sure that you treat it like a conference championship and not just think of it as any day coming down to practice, down the hill. You want it to be, every meet is a championship meet. We tell the women it doesn't matter if it's the first meet in January or the last meet or national championship. But when you're at home, you do have to make sure that you're planning, mentally and even within your normal day to look at it as we are traveling down the hill, but then your focus is on the team for the conference title.
I don't think this team will have any troubles with motivation. It's been a team that shows focus in its eyes every time they're throwing or jumping or running, what have you. It's been a lot of fun to watch. We wish you the best luck. Thanks for stopping by this week.
Thanks.
We're taking a 30-second timeout, but keep it right here. We have a premier NCC track and field athlete joining us next on the Cardinal Report.
Today is Saturday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Naperville News 17 is your hometown news source, and not just on television. Visit our website, nctv17.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, or like our Facebook page. And if you have a story you think we should cover, email us at newstips@nctv17.com. Naperville News 17, committed to building and celebrating community.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. We're now joined by junior Lena Baker. Lena, thanks for stopping by.
Not a problem.
Let's go over the season a little bit. You've been having a fantastic season in the hammer throw, ranked third nationally, as we spoke about with Coach Clacone about what is it that makes this event kind of good for you? What has helped you kind of make that progression year to year? Obviously, last year All-American, this year trying to duplicate that success.
I just think that it's complicated. The fact that it's so complicated really draws my attention, and I know I got so many things to work on. It excites me to know that I could always do better, so that's the reason I really like it.
Now, for someone who doesn't know much about the hammer throw, what maybe were some of the minute kind of things that you go through before you actually throw your hammer? The fact that you have to go through so many things in preparation. What are some of the finer details of a good hammer thrower?
You just have to practice a lot. Practice. You need to have great balance, great sense of where your body's at, and just to have confidence, because it's really easy to think, oh, I can't do it. In that little instant you think you can't do it, your whole body can go from one step in the right direction to a centimeter off, and your whole throw can be off.
We mentioned with Coach how you were practicing in the snow. Is that kind of atypical for an outdoor athlete to be practicing outdoors with kind of snow on the ground, cold weather, just being able to brave those elements out there for practice?
Since we live in Illinois, I feel like it's something I kind of just got to deal with. I got to stay outside. There's no way I can get the quality reps that I need inside, so I'd rather be outside. I mean, it takes a little bit getting used to. I know we had a few people who had never thrown outside throw outside with me a few times over the winter, and it was a little hard. They just have to learn to control their body in a different way, which can really help out, especially in the season if it rains or if it is a little chilly and could snow.
Now, what kind of mindset do you bring into an outdoor meet, knowing that the weather can ostensibly affect the way that you go about your business? Looking at the forecast, we might see some rain on Friday for the first day of CCIW Championships. Saturday might be a little bit more sunny, but how does that affect the way you go into the meet?
It doesn't really change too much. I'm just going to go in confident, knowing what I need to do, especially it's my home ring. I've been on this ring through everything, so I know what it feels like. I know how to adjust, and I know my capabilities.
And Ebony Stallworth, another person who throws with you. You guys do discus, you guys do hammer throw. Both of you All-Americans last year, setting North Central records. Really a lot of success for both you and Ebony. How do you guys kind of coach each other and make each other better during the season?
We really work with each other on confidence, talking to each other, letting each other know that we can do this, that we've seen each other, we know how hard we both practice, and we really just come together because we were the two incoming freshmen our freshman year. So since then we just have a bond that's kind of can't really break it. So we work well together, which is nice.
And last year, talking with us, you said that confidence is one of the biggest factors in being able to grow as an athlete on the track or the field, what have you. How has your confidence grown over the years?
It's definitely grown a lot since Coach Sean Denard has joined us. He really tells us, like, believe in yourself, throw the best way you can throw, because only one person, like for me, only one person can throw like Lena. There's not going to be anybody out there who can do what I can do, and vice versa. So I feel like that really gives us a confidence boost because he believes in us as much as we believe in each other and ourselves.
Now, what is it like as an athlete, maybe without that singular coach in your event, but now you have Sean Denard who helps you along? What's it like having that kind of one-on-one relationship with a coach who maybe after each throw you can kind of chat over with him and he can kind of review things with you and make the very next throw a little bit better?
I think it's really beneficial in getting to know what body positions you're in and the way your body feels when you throw, because it makes me learn faster and better what I'm doing and recognize what I'm doing. So even if he's not there, I know what I've done because he's reinforced, like, hey, I felt like I did this, and he's like, yeah, that's right. So getting that body awareness is real great.
We had the men's tennis team on last week, and I think the two sports are somewhat similar in the fact that you're kind of out there by yourself. So like a singles match for tennis, you're out there by yourself, and you as a hammer throw, you are out there by yourself, essentially coaching yourself. And I asked the players last week, what's a bigger factor when you're out there by yourself? Is it the mental side, coaching yourself up, or is it the physical side with fatigue and whatnot? For you as an athlete out there, what is a bigger obstacle for you, mental or physical?
I mean, the biggest obstacle for me when I throw by myself is just to make sure, like, you're doing it right. You, like, have that confidence that, like, I'm out here by myself. Like, it's not a big deal, but make sure I'm doing it right. Don't forget those little things that coaches usually like, hey, don't forget that little thing or this little thing. So it's kind of like remembering the little details that when you're by yourself, sometimes you're not thinking about it because you're like trying to focus on those bigger aspects that coaches can pick out really easily.
And looking at the bigger picture here, CCIW Championships coming up, and this is an event where the team has succeeded in the past. You're looking for your third conference crown in 4 years. From your point of view, from an athlete's point of view, we've heard coaches. From an athlete's point of view, where is the team heading into the CCIW Championships?
I think we're heading in very strong. We're all very confident. We all know what we can do. And I feel like it's real great because we're backed up by our coaches real well. They tell us that, like, we're going to be successful, that we have a strong team, that we have the least amount of holes. And there's no reason, especially because we're at home, that we shouldn't feel comfortable and ready to go. So I think it's going to be real great. It
should be fun. I mean, the good thing about this is that you go through all these other meets where you see your competition in the conference, and now you get to go at them one-on-one. So it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks for stopping by, Elena.
No problem.
Appreciate it. We're all out of time for this episode. Thanks for watching. Check out the rest of this season of the Cardinal Report archived in full at nctv17.com. I'm Justin Zipser. We'll see you next time.